Hey, you guys, it's Negada Indicted TV here. We're almost at 100K. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also remember I go live on Wednesdays evenings. I drop an episode every Sunday, 11 o'clock. Make sure you guys comment. If you guys have any suggestions, any questions, whatever it might be, drop a comment. Let's get into this episode.
If you or a loved one are battling addiction, this is your wake-up call. At Strive Forward Recovery, we help get you clean, get you moving, and keep you there. Don't wait. Call today and take back your life.
Hey, check this out. If you want to get into Navy Fed and get $20,000 in 95 days, comment the word credit. All right, come here. I already bombed this right here. Fix your credit. If you're Latino, you need to wake up. Fix your credit.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Indicted TV. I'm your host, Negada. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Before we start, you already know, I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey. Keep it hard, guys. Also for the best jewelry, for his glory. And on today's episode, we have Coach G. Welcome to Indicted TV.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Appreciate
thank you.
that,
No, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come and sit with me and, talk to us about you, your life, your experiences, and what you do now.
Yeah, 100%.
So tell us, Coach G, tell us where you're from. I don't mean the gang. Where you grew up, your mom, dad. How was your house growing up?
Yeah, I was born in Mexico.
Oh, nice.
My mom's from Puebla. My dad's from Guerrero, Mexico. But I was raised in Baldwin Park, city of Baldwin Park.
Okay.
At 4 years old, that's when they brought me to the United States. My mom was already grinding out here, trying to better herself. And I thought my grandma was my mom at the beginning, so I guess they saved up some money and they went and got me. Boom, here I am, landed in Baldwin Park. And that's where it all started, pretty much raised all my, pretty much all my teenage years until I was in my 20s, where I moved to Ontario. I'm in Ontario now. I bought a house.
Okay.
Been there going on 21 years.
Okay. Well, let's take it back. Let's take it back. So you grew up in a household. Was your mom and your dad both in the house, or just your mom?
No. Well, that's why she left to the United States. Obviously, she didn't want to be with. They had their issues, so yeah, they left each other. I never knew my dad.
Okay.
I never knew my dad, so I don't know how he looks. I never met that guy.
Got it.
I never brought it up to her or anything, or bothered her with tell me the story. I just didn't go there, and until this day, I still haven't went there. It's just I just don't see there's a reason why I should bring it up.
Got it.
And so she met a guy here, which is my stepdad. They had I have two brothers. I'm the oldest, and my little sister, which she's 27, something like that.
Okay.
Around there, and my brothers, they're right behind me. My brother's 2 years younger than me, and my little brother, he's about 5 years younger than me.
Okay. So you guys all grew up in the same household. You guys, obviously working family. Everything was love.
No. So when they picked me up from Mexico, one of my uncles had to go back with me because I'm like, who's this lady? I'm 4 years old, I already know where am I going,
Yeah.
They're like, no, that's your mom. And I'm like, well, what are you? I thought my grandma was my mom. She raised me. Because once, when I was born, not even a year old, she left, and tried to, just get a better life.
Yeah,
and leave from
the situation
she was in,
Got it.
And my grandpa said, leave him here,
So it makes it easier for her to come and get her money and get her stuff situated. So when it's time for you to go there,
100%.
everything is typically, like what a normal person that comes from Mexico, my parents, I'm first generation as well. So, they came and they worked to be better. It's what you come to the United States for, for a better way of living, right?
Yeah, the American dream.
The American dream.
So I went back, and obviously when they picked me up, my brother was already born. And
okay.
so I had a brother. You know,
Okay.
so I came back, you know, and I guess throughout the time, you know, there was always conflict, you know, because I still, you know, was not listening. So it was since I was a little kid, we were not like bonding like that, you know. So where we
It's
landed
probably
in
super
Baltimore Park,
uncomfortable for you.
yeah, it was, you know, because I'm like, who's this lady, you know, and they tried, and then my stepdad too, like, who are these people, you know, like they're taking me.
It takes a super effect on a child and it's trauma.
Yeah.
It's traumatizing to us as well, not knowing like, okay, estoy en Mexico with my mom, and then I'm just here in the United States with these people that I don't know, and I have to listen, and it's like,
it was all weird to me.
Totally different.
Yeah. So we come to the United States, and obviously where they're staying is the hub where all the immigrants go. You know, there's more people at that pad. It was not just my mom. There's about 7 families.
Wow.
There were people coming in and out. So it was always a movement, you know, and there was a lot of drinking. There was a lot of just no guidance, you know, just work and kick it, drink. You know, that's what Mexicans do, pretty much. You know, they have there's no rite of passage. So I can't blame them. You know,
that's all they know.
Yeah, that's all they know.
Y no quieren cambiar.
That's it. I mean, just come here and work, and there's no plan. There's no like, oh, okay, like after then what? You know, obviously the whole key here was like get your own place, right? But I was there for a while. I was there for a minute till I was like maybe 9 years old.
Oh yeah, you were there for a few years.
Yeah, about nine or 10 is when I started seeing a lot of commotion, a lot of in and out, a lot of people coming in, then just taking off to their spot, Washington, wherever they had to go. They have family members, but that was the hub.
Wow.
You know, so I got to see all that, but then throughout all that, I also got to see a lot of, you know, violence, a lot of, you know, just, you know, what they go through, you know, with
life,
the wives that they go through when their husbands are drinking, when they're, you know, abusive and all that, you know. So I seen that, and through all that commotion and that drama, you know, I got hit with another news, and I was already 9 when my stepdad's dad came from Mexico, and they were playing cards, and I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And something happened where my mom pulled me to a side. She's like, hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. That's not your dad, so don't call him dad around, you know, people. So telling me like, so I was again like, what? Like,
oh
like
yeah,
it hit me like, okay,
a lot.
now I get it why I'm getting beat up all the time. Now like everything started like making sense, because I was always getting like, you know, she was taking her anger on me, you know, whether it was because she was feeling a type of way, or, you know, just a lot of emotions that she had.
She was going through her own stuff.
Yeah, she was going through all that shit, so she had to take it out on somebody. So it was me. So now it kind of makes sense. I'm like, yeah, because when you keep telling them that they're making fun of him, because
typical macho.
Yeah, because you know, like, you know, so I don't know exactly what it was said, but I said, okay, cool. That pretty much is what did it. Where like kind of it just threw me off big time. And after that, it was just more like... Did
you rebel more?
I didn't give her a hard time, but I just started finding like, you know, I just started finding my own path. And my neighbors happened to be the spot. That was the spot. That was the, you know, the main spot, you know, where a lot of shit was happening there. So that was
You're comfortable.
actually the spot there that I used to see, because they were like there. So I used to see a lot of movement, a lot of like older homies coming out of prison, you know, and all the whips, Cadillacs, all that, the glamorous life, you know. So that shit was like, it pulled me, it drew me in.
And that's exactly what, and that's what it does. Especially when a child, I mean, you're a child, tienes que 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
You're a child and you're so, you know, you're unhappy, you're sad. Basically, you're sad and you feel lost. And that is, they're going to give you that attention that you need.
There we go. It's the acceptance that we're looking for. So you don't get it. And this is the same stories that we pretty much all go through.
Yeah, we all go through this.
Yeah, we don't have the attention that we want, or people, you know, obviously our parents, they do their best. They're trying to do their best. My mom worked all the time. She's a hard worker. And I think that's where I got that from, where she always told me like, hey, you got to work. I was working at 9 helping her when she used to bring work from the sewing company to like shit that they used to, for like up at out there at the shop, we had to undo it. So she would be like, "Hey, you gotta help me do this shit," you know. And I'm like,
Aye.
so she had me and my brother like helping her, you know. But she was always hustling. She was always working, and she didn't have the time. So once I started getting in trouble in school, like it was always a beat down, you know, because like I'm missing work and I'm gonna go get your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass too, you know, that type. She was strict. She was not having it because she always had that anger. But till later on,
she had so much pressure on her.
Yeah, I found out that's she had a rough life too. So that's where I learned to forgive at a young age, and I didn't hold that against her.
Love that you say that.
I knew that from the gate. You know that my aunt told me, "Mijo, I know you're getting treated this way." We talk to her, we tell her like you're doing too much. Everybody did because
you have empathy in your heart, and I feel empathy is how if you don't have empathy, you're gonna be a cold person.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be cold towards others because of how we go through, but you had empathy towards your mom because. Yeah. You felt her pain.
Yeah, well, that helped me because, nobody broke me like she broke me, Like, and that's emotionally,
Yeah.
And that right there, so nobody was breaking me out there, I was like pretty much rebellious to like other people or at school where, kids start making fun of kids because I didn't wear the best things, I always wear like the secondhand from the stores that were at the thrift stores or yard sales. So I never had Jordans. I never had none of that.
Yeah.
So that even, and kids are crucial, and they're
mean.
They're mean, and so it was always like a fight or that's when we started, kicking it with the cool crowd that we could vibe with each other because they were coming from the same broken home, from the same place that I was, coming from. So we understand each other, and that's how we built that group, and that's how we started, kind of creating our own way, which most of us do, and trying to find acceptance, you know. Mm-hmm. So pretty much that was it. I got wrapped in the street life, and to top it off, that pad. My main homie that I call my mentor, he took me in like a son. So he laced me up on game on just everything that I had to know from like what I need to know, like to survive in the streets, to make shit happen in the streets. And it helped me because the reason why, he took so much care and liking in me because he couldn't have kids. Later on, I found that out. But, it almost took me like a son, grooming me and lacing me up with, like putting me like, hey, man, you got to be cut above the rest. Like all these guys right here, that's where I kind of started like.
He saw it in you.
Yeah, but I started like seeing like, what are we doing here? Like that's the homie, like, nah. Those guys are going to go put in that work, and we need fallout guys. We need throwaways, So he kind of set it all straight where it kind of like made me like already like trip out on like what we call homeboys and what we call, unity and our neighborhood and we're one. No, we're not. He was putting me up on game like way ahead of the game where like it was almost like not liking that shit because even my own homies that I had to go recruit or I had to go pump up and motivate and bring them back and or bring them in, I had to kind of like lie to them, like, hey man, I got you, G, we got you all right here, like almost like manipulate them in a bad way, knowing that they're the ones, they're the frontliners, they're the soldiers, and you stay right here. This is what you're gonna do. We need you to go train. We need you to put yourself well.
And you're how old at this time?
I'm already about 11. About that time, 11.
Still un bebé.
Yeah, 11 years old. Well, at 12 years old, I was buying my own clothes already because I was already hustling. I was already working. And I remember
what did your mom say when you came in and you had new clothes?
She was just tripping. I used to have those old Motorola phones. I had two of them. Remember those big old phones?
You're kidding me.
Yeah, and I go look at mom, and she was like, oh damn. She didn't know. She wasn't. Yeah, she was like un teléfono, and she was like, she was not hip to that. Obviously the clothes did bother her because she was like, what are you doing wearing that? Like that's looks stupid on you. She'll take it. She'll fucking put it away. But after she got tired of it because obviously like I'll just go buy a whole new fit and I had everything there. From Levi's that we couldn't afford back then I already had every color.
At 12 years old.
Already just, she didn't have to buy nothing for me no more.
Kind of made it a little easier for her. She probably thought.
And giving her money too. So I was helping, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, how are you getting this money? But I was also working for my uncles, because they had a little shop where they used to upholster like couches like these. They used to make these couches or sofas and all that. So I used to go sweep, and that was kind of like my cover up too.
Slick food.
Yeah, I mean, we had to do what we had to do, because she was on my ass. She was on my ass. Not that I gave her a hard time, where like me being rebellious or like, talk shit to her. I never did. If I had it coming, her. No, I never did. If I had it coming, she would just sit down right there, and she'll get the cable and she'll whoop my ass. Like with the no more hands, no more time. No, she'll get the extension cord. She'll be sit right there, and she'll just lay it on me. And I was like, I was already used to that, But I'll just be like, I'll just be still, and then I was
and
okay.
Did you, like, how was high school? You went to high school?
No, I didn't.
You didn't go to high school?
No, I went to maybe the 9th grade. That's when pretty much that was it for me. I got picked up from the 9th grade. I was there for 2 months, and that was a wrap for me. I hit all the youth authorities for the whole my high school years.
Okay, so at what age did you get caught up by the cops for the first time? Like, you got arrested?
When they impounded my car. I had a car at 13 years old. I was 13.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to 7. I was in 8th grade.
What car was it?
Monte Carlo, 79 Monte Carlo.
Super cool.
Yeah. And I was,
they couldn't tell you anything.
Man, it was, me and my homeboy were mobbing and shit. And that shit, I got pulled over.
Right away.
That car right away. They were like, what are you doing with this shit? And it was my car, but
you paid for it.
But it was under my uncle's name though too. So it was
a whole drama with that too.
Yeah, it was a drama with that, and that's how I got more into like my mom just trying to put me like in probation or call the cops on me, like do something with this guy. Like I can't have that.
You're out of control.
Like my mom was like, we're not having like, how some homeboys you could like go to their pad and their mom's like, yeah, drink right here and smoke right. No, my mom was like the opposite. She'll be like, I ain't having that here. I don't want nobody here. You ain't bringing nobody here. So I was never home, because she always told me like, you're just damaging, your brothers, so get out of here with that shit. Or she'll close the doors on me. And,
but at least you had your friend's houses to go to.
Sometimes,
and you had
sometimes, but you know what? It wasn't like that because I for like 3 months I had no pad. I was in the streets
at 13.
Yeah, I slept in parks and I used to go to the homies pad, but it wasn't like I couldn't stay there. Their moms were like, "You can't stay here." So for the time being, but it wasn't like I could live with them.
Yes.
So I got a little taste of like, hey, being homeless for a while. Where I used to try to. One day was, I said, "Fuck this, man! I can't take this no more." And I snuck into my homie's pad, and they weren't there, and I was to the back room, which was a den, and they found me. The uncle found me. He got pissed. He was like, "What the fuck is your boy doing here? This and that." So I got kicked out of that. So that was that. And it was just rough, man. By my own choice, though, man.
Yeah.
My own choice, because your homeboys are gonna be there till as much as they can, but they're not gonna take you in because they
don't want to get in trouble either. You're kids,
we were young. Yeah, we're kids. Not like they were. Grown-ups until like I said, even my mentor, when he was an older OG, he was not gonna fucking obviously get involved like that. He took me in and he laced me up, and I used to work for him and do all these things, but not because it was too close. It was next door, so he knew what I was doing, but he always tried to talk to me and put some good positive
sense,
like like advice,
okay.
but then it's like, okay, but this is not like I want to be like this, like it's like do as I say, don't do as I do shit. Like that shit don't
like
work.
what we tell our kids.
Yeah, exactly.
I could say bad words, but not you.
Yeah, like how's that gonna work? So, but I mean, after that, like I said, until I got caught slipping, back then I was selling chronic. Chronic was very expensive back then. That was about $5,000 for half a pea. And for an ounce. I think it was was it an ounce? I know it was expensive back then.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 46.
Okay. We're just a few years apart.
So, me like a dummy, and I put it in my brother's closet, in the hamper because I was gonna come back to it, you know.
Hi.
But that was it. That, you know, my mom washes my brother's
And it
clothes.
stinks.
Well, it was wrapped up. It was sealed,
okay.
you know. But it was like the new shit that it was like $20 a gram back then when the
Chronic.
was
I remember.
Yeah, so. And she found it, and then she turned it into my probation officer, which he was. A lot of people probably know him, Pedregon. Pedregon was his name.
And the SGV Bobby Park
they
area.
all know who he is. Him and Santos were the ones that on my ass, and that was it. She was like, "Now could you take him, please? Like, you know, this is like the, you know, like." So she had that and some dope, and that pretty much was a wrap for me.
That's when they took you in.
Yeah, they picked me up from school. I was in school. I barely went into ninth grade. I'm like, oh yeah, this is moneymaker right here, because you know there was a lot of party crews back then. Everybody was blazing. Everybody was, you know.
I remember the party scene. I remember the party scene. I'm in my 40s too.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot older than you.
I'm 43. I'm gonna be 43.
Oh, okay. You're right
so
behind
it's just right behind you.
So
Yeah.
you know what's up. Yeah, with the 90s.
And I always hung out with older people. I was always the youngest one.
Yeah. Yeah. Why is it crazy that they're always like the ones that are wiser? They always were laced and groomed by the older people.
Because they're.
I think they see
see it in us.
something. That's what. See, they see something in us, and whether they did or not back then, like I learned a lot, you know, and it's kind of like what kept me out of trouble, and not taking it all the way to like, you know, being, you know, in you know, to the extreme where, you know, you're doing dumb shit, you know, like now you're going on missions and shit like that.
I was definitely doing fucking dumb shit.
Yeah, no, I mean they were always preventing me from, you know, that, because I was almost like his right hand man, but it wasn't not for like a good purpose.
No,
you know, there was always intentions behind it.
Oh
like,
yeah. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
So they pick you up in the 9th grade, right? You thought you're fresh, you're gonna make your money, you know. It's like good, you're at school, 9th grade, high school, you know. Well, Sierra Vista or something.
Sierra Vista, yeah, yep. SP.
I have cousins that graduated from Sierra Vista.
Okay.
Anyways, so they pick you up. How did you feel when they cuffed you? Because it's your first time actually really getting cuffed, or no?
No, I've been cuffed before. Like I got kicked out when I went to Jones Junior High, and I was just being a fool there, and I tried to run away from the cops, me and my homeboy, and they cuffed me up there too, took me to the station, but then they released me.
Yeah, from the station.
We're just ditching, we're just trying to, you know, they caught me on the train tracks, and but they pissed. He put that boot in my face. I broke his glasses. I'm like, you
I feel like the cops were way worse with the guys before.
Oh yeah.
Or like your era, like it was really bad.
Yeah, they weren't having it, man. I remember I tried to jump the fence. That fool just grabbed me and threw me to the floor, and he said, "You little shit, man! You made me break my glasses, huh?" Yeah. Big old corn fed. Well, you know, you already had me pinned up.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. You know, I'm sure you sit back now, and obviously you're a coach, and you're a physical and mental coach, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm sure you sit back and you're like, what was I thinking? But I mean, you wouldn't be who you are if you didn't go through all those situations, right? So
that's what I tell my mom, you know.
Yeah, gracias no voy a decir que es culpa de usted, pero es culpa de usted.
Yeah. No, because I don't really talk to her, but I seen her like maybe, you know, I don't have that bond with her, but every now and then she calls me just to hear my voice, and it's weird to me because she comes out like that. And when I've been visit her one of these days, when was it? It was maybe about 6 months ago. I went and paid her a visit, and she broke down. You know, like I think she was holding on to something, because she sees, you're like, damn, hijo, like she started telling me that, oh, I love what you're doing. I see you on YouTube, and I tell my friends about you, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
She's proud of
you. Yeah. But they don't know how to express it.
They don't.
Because we don't show that emotion. We don't show that love towards each other, because nobody showed her that. So it's learned behavior. I get it now. You know, as I started more into personal development, I understood how we work and why is it that we're still, you know, caught up in that mindset, you know, of like how we are, just cold-hearted, no emotion, you know, putting up a mask. I learned a lot through, you know, like I said, through all this experiences helped me, because now I transfer it and I use it to help others, because they can't lie to me. Like I I know where your pain's at, big dog. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could put on a fucking mask for me and say this and that and not all big and bad and tough like I did, you know, but mentally, physically, spiritually, I was broken.
Yeah.
You know, and until you like own it and look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm done with it. Like, I need help. Because there is help out there. So
Yeah.
you don't have to.
You have to want it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. You have to want it. And like I tell people, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear somehow, some way.
That's right. That's right. So let's go back. We'll go back. Let's go back. So you're getting picked up at ninth grade. Where did you go? Where did they take you or what?
LP.
And that was your first time in juvenile hall?
Yeah, that was the first time.
How was it for you when you get there, you're walking in? You're obviously from a gang already.
Well, when I walked in there, it's like, okay, now we're dealing with knuckleheads that are pretty much gonna test you, pretty much, and that only taught me to you're either gonna buckle down and handle business, or you're gonna be fucking put on a leva, where they used to call it. You're on a leva right away. Like they had their slang and all this shit, but I thought I wasn't gonna do time. I thought I was like, what? And even one of the homies are like, oh, it's your first time. You're gonna get out. Like this is a slap in the hand. I go, cool. Until they kept me there for a month, and once I went to court. They stretched me for 16 months.
You're kidding?
Because I didn't know that my mom had got. I didn't know what was.
She gave him the weed.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like. That's why they picked me up. I'm like, why the they picked me up from school? Because they just didn't trust for me to go to court and think that I was gonna be attending to court. So they just said
because you weren't gonna go to court anyway.
Exactly. So then that's pretty much what happened. And right away, it's like it was almost like you had to do what you had to do there, man, because it was just. Pretty much Thunderdome status in there, man, because they're just testing you. They're trying to see, you know, where your heart's at and, you know, fight. And even there, like, you know, you're handpicked, you know, they see that in you. Because even there, they started, like, already grooming you and
the other kids.
Almost like, no, even the whole
staff.
system.
Okay.
The whole system's like that. Because you have, like, your people that are in charge of like the unit, like the whole unit. Like we had a unit of like there were different doors. People that know LP. I was in L&M. Then the next one is HR, which I didn't know that we're both those two buildings. You're gonna do stretches. It's not like one timer. That was like the other building. I didn't know that till later.
Got
where like
it.
I was next to the you're gonna
They're doing
go time and gonna go to camp or whatever the fuck.
Where did you do those 16 months at?
I got moved around. I went to Sylmore, Central. I went to pretty much all the camps.
And for you, were all the juvenile halls the same?
They were just a little different. Like when I went to Sylmore, it was a lot more cleaner. It was like a newer building. When I went to Sylmore, I was like, oh, this is like a lot nicer. You know, like everything was like clean. Yeah, LP was old and even Central.
That was super
like old and. Yeah, it's just everything was like, there's just a smell. Everything was just
But
old.
and obviously you're just fighting with everybody still.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like that's what you do. You know, there's just people. They just we're all kids.
Yeah.
And we want to. And you come with that mentality, the street mentality. You're gonna test people, and whoever car is bigger, then they're gonna just try to, you know, punk you or take advantage because it's all like pretty much like. There's no structure, so whoever doesn't like you or whoever you know is your enemy or recognizes you or that's pretty much it.
What would you say was the craziest thing you experienced in those 16 months? 16.
Like, I mean, it was all the same. I know Saturdays when we used to clean the rooms, that's when we used to go get down and we were able to go in people's room and people were gonna fight.
Okay. So basically just fighting.
Yeah, that's it.
Worst thing you've experienced there.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, like, yeah, that was it. Nothing like,
well, good. You know? But it's good then. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like what we all experience. You know, you just got to get down and whether you're going to be put on the, you know, on a level spot on the punk side or you're going to just be that one that's, you know, recognized and people are going to know.
You were the one that was recognized.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming.
You know? Yeah,
he said absolutely.
Yeah, 100%, man. We ain't having that, you know?
I understand completely. So, okay, so you're there, you're 16 months. They moved you around. You probably did like 6 months, whatever, you know? You get out. You know, you're thinking you're even cooler now. They couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah, but you know that's where we go wrong because that's what they do to you.
No, but see,
and not only that, your people that are waiting out, you know, Like everybody almost like, fuck, man, they see you different. Like all the youngsters, because all the other people
schools do
like,
not care, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, okay, cool, man. Like, let's get back to work kind of deal. So I didn't learn. I only lasted a month after I told my mom, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to be good. I'm going to do all this and that. Because I didn't get no visits, nothing. My mom, she didn't visit me once. I didn't, you weren't able to, like, even if she wanted to, I don't know if she even wanted to, but I never got no visit. Like people, once you were already like at a camp, in Camp Gonzalez, that's where I was. And
so you did go to camp?
Yeah.
In those 16 months?
Yeah. They had a place because all those other like LP,
those just for you to be,
that's just almost like holding tank.
Yeah, while you're going to your court, while you're going to.
While you're they're moving you around, and then Challenger. So
tell me about your camp. Tell me about your camp experience. Kind of the same thing, or?
Oh, same shit. It's just better food. That's
better
it.
food. You were marching, doing the squad leader stuff. What is it called? Marching squad or whatever?
Well, that's the same thing. And they're always picked like the one that. It's funny how they just pass it on. Like the homie had to pass it on to another homie that knew what time it was and this and that. It was always like somebody like leading that pack. Because there were like sections. There were different groups, and there always was one person that leads that group. That
carries himself a certain way, obviously, and things like that.
Yeah.
You became the leader.
You had to carry yourself a certain way, in order for you to get that. Because obviously you had to like keep your group in check. Like it was your job. It wasn't like the
staff.
The staff. No, it was you. Like, hey, you guys, you they didn't do their bed or shit like that. Like you had to go and put them in check. Hey, man, make sure that shit's nice and tight and shit like that.
Yeah, because then it messes up everybody's program.
Yeah. So see what I'm saying is they're already like molding you, to like that mentality of like what they're putting in your head.
In your heads, yeah. So you didn't last. So you got out of camp. You didn't even last a month. You're saying?
Yeah, I just and that's when I went back again. And it was for like just stupid shit. That I didn't. We don't learn the lesson till we learn the lesson. And I thought I was done, and I was sick of it. I didn't even. I'm not. There was a difference from the people that wanted, because I had homies and they're doing life right now they were striving to be somebody. They were going full blast, full force. I said that I was like, I don't want this. I don't like this shit. Fuck that. Like, I didn't even have a girlfriend. I missed all that. Like, I didn't, have no, like, I wanted like, a partner,
So your whole teenage years, you didn't have a girlfriend?
No, so, I was like, I don't like this shit, I don't like to be told, what to do. I don't like to be, told when to shit, when to go, pretty much like be told what to do.
Yeah, of course.
I wanted things because I got a taste of things, money, things. There you stripped of everything. You got nothing, but, and that was it. At the same time, I was pretty much done. That's when I came back out in 96. 96 was the last time that I was property of the state. That's when I just said I had to do something. That's when I came to a realization that, I had to find somebody that, was going to keep me busy, a woman, a female, I got to get a job. I got to get my life right, because if not, I was already going down that road. Yeah.
So you went to YA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you went back the second time?
Yeah, because I was already older.
Okay, so when you went back to YA, what did you go back for? Like, what made you get sent to YA?
Violation of probation. I didn't come home. And once I didn't come home, I was on the run, because I knew I fucked up already, and then we got caught. We got caught at a hotel full of stolen goods and shit, and that's pretty much what sealed the deal. Because when I came back, somebody had called, and that hotel got raided, and man, I was like, what the man?
No,
yeah, that was it.
So you went to YA. Tell me about your experience in YA, because those years YA was intense.
Yeah, but it's the same shit, It's
but I mean, I've had a lot of people from YA here, especially.
Well, I didn't do that much time NYA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some people that did stretches or got sent to other camps.
A lot of different ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was so easy. Like I had young Beeves Comedy. He's from.
Oh yeah. I know who. Yeah, I met him.
Man.
Yeah, he went through the trenches.
He went through it, and when his story, like his experience, was crazy in YA, and look at him, and he's just striving, and it's like he told me like you would drop a cap, bam, and if you picked it up, you're made leva. Everything was made like you could be made leva.
I know it was stupid. Even doing push-ups. I remember when I barely got there, and then a homie from Avenues.
That's where I'm from.
Oh shit! Hold on, that's what's up. Yeah, the Avenues blasted, and I forgot what they call him. Even trying to bring up names, but
yeah, it's fine.
Anyways, he's like, "Hey, homie, you can't do push-ups like that. You got to put sandals on. We don't touch that floor with our hands." And I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, so now there's like different rules here, like, so
and
I'm
you
like,
have to adjust to those.
Yeah, so you gotta adjust to like everything that they're saying there. It's like they're more like, it was still Thunderdome status though, because it was like if they had shit personal with you, you were still, it's not like there was structure anyways, so but yeah, like I said, that was it for that, man. That even like just
how long did you do it?
A couple of months.
Oh, only a couple of months. Okay.
Yeah, because they were undecided to take me to county just because I had violated probation. And I couldn't go back to Central. I was already 17.
About to be 18 or
so
something.
They were like, kind of like, I could have went to county, or I could have got a taste. Well, my probation, what he said is like, I'm gonna give him a taste of like what he's looking for, what he wants. Which you're gonna go. That's where you're going up next. You're not gonna go here. You're gonna go up to upstate already. You're already getting older, because next offense you're not doing well. You're gonna go to the big house. So it's what my counselor, what my people were telling me, like, bro, you don't listen. Your mom's like, she's the one that's telling us that,
keep this full.
Like she don't want you,
Yeah, it's too hard for her.
Yeah.
Plus, you're probably making problems with her and her husband, which is like he's probably being a bigger dick. It's kind of how it goes. I went through that with my mom.
That's what I kind of like. I seen that, that even though I was not like a certain way towards her, but I know I caused a lot of problems.
He mistreated her. He abused her over you.
Yeah, because he never said nothing, but she always did the, the discipline, disciplinary action. She's the one that whooped my fucking ass, and to the extreme, almost like abusive. But I mean, it's
abusive.
What could you do?
Like, are we gonna do that to our kids? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But after that, like I said, pretty much it was done.
And how old were you when you were completely done?
I was gonna turn 18, because I tried to go back to. Because I was a year behind, so I tried to go back to school. I couldn't go back to school, so I went to adult school.
Okay.
And that's when I ran into my wife's sister, which that's pretty much what
because you've been with your wife for a very long time.
Yeah,
I saw your post, like I went to your page, and I think it was like yesterday, and I was like, and you said it was like almost 30 years or something.
29.
29 years, and I was like, oh, that's nice,
29 years. Yeah, that she saved me. She was the one that saved me, because then I landed at another home that was lacing me up to be better, which it was her dad. Her dad's an OG from East LA, so he's another person that mentored me and laced me up and put me up on game, and kind of like told me a lot of shit that helped me not seek validation or approval from nobody. Because that's the problem with a lot of youngsters, or a lot of people that can't leave the hood, because they're afraid of like the what they're gonna be seen as, or what they're gonna tell you as. Like, obviously, somebody that's gonna co-sign for you like that, or take you under his wing like that, you feel a lot more better. We're like, oh man, like, you can't say nothing, he's rolling with a boy, like it has to be a person of a status, because it's hard for a lot of youngsters that don't have that. So see how I always had like that person that it's like, okay,
It's funny that you say that. Well, not funny, but it's that you say that, because I feel like it even goes both ways, as far as like, let's just say not people like privileged people, like, you know, privileged kids, like
Yeah.
they have it hard in that form to like they can't even be themselves because they're so up here that they really can't be themselves either, no matter how much money you have or how educated you are. That's why there's like so much suicide.
That's gold, what you said right now, because they're not writing their story.
They have to fall back behind
Yeah.
their parents.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
you know, it's like it's we're the same.
Yeah.
We're human, you know.
Yeah.
Like you know, some of us go have it worse because we're not financially stable,
Yeah.
and they're financially stable, but they're not mentally okay.
Yeah.
Like because they need to be up here because they don't want their dad to get mad at them.
Yeah.
And us, we don't give a shit if their parents get mad because they're not doing anything for us anyways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're already.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're still seeking validation and approval.
There you go.
From people, and
There you
that
go.
right there, if you live like that, you're never gonna find your purpose. You're never gonna find, yourself on, what you want to do. You're always, want approval, and you're not gonna get it. The funny thing about it is that
You're
you
never
ain't gonna
gonna
get
get-
it.
never.
You're never gonna get it. And people that are conditioned that way, those are the ones that are broken mentally, because those are the ones that are riddled with guilt and shame. Guilt and shame is one of the most powerful emotions that we have, and a lot of people, could lie all they want, but they still have that. They still, those negative emotions, you got to heal within. And a lot of people that even
Takes a
been through the
lifetime.
system, it does. But it takes acceptance, it takes forgiveness, and that's work. You got to do internal work.
That's right.
And
That's right.
where I help a lot of people now, because I had to do that with myself.
Well, I was about to say that because at what age, you said at 19 you were done with the system, you know. How did you get yourself together? Like, where'd you go to school? Like, what happened? Like, because obviously you're 46 and
Yeah.
you were 19. Like,
Yeah.
what have you gone through?
Perfect. Because this is where I want to get to. Because I always want to deliver, like, okay, this is how I could help you guys. Okay, this story, boom, we sift through it, but this is where it's at. So obviously, I had to make money.
Yeah.
And I went to a warehouse to work because, one thing that we do and another shit that, we are not taught is like, find your purpose, find, what you love to do. Because when you just go after the money, which that's what we all do, you either in school they either teach you to go to college, the army, or get a job. You got to go work and make some money.
No matter what, yeah.
And what we do is go get a job and make some money, like our parents. And most of us fall into that, same pattern, same way of thinking. Like if my dad's a gardener, he's a welder, then that's what I'm gonna be. But not even thinking, or nobody asking you if you even like to do that. It's kind of like you're already like, that, okay, that's what I gotta do, type of deal. So I just needed to make money now, right money, good money, and I started, like I said, loading trucks. And then my homie is the one that told me, hey, you know what? Fuck, get your Class A license. They get paid more. They don't do background checks, nothing. And I noticed that back then, I got my license in 99. So back then, a lot of homies were going that route because we're like, that shit pays
No background
good.
check, yeah.
No, and truck drivers, being a truck driver, that's why you're seeing a lot of pelones back then driving trucks, because they were getting paid more money. And I'm like, wow, you're clocking what? Like
And not being judged.
1,500? Exactly. And okay, I'll do that. So I was working, and then I was trying to get my license, and like 300 questions. So and I'm not good at school. So I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm gotta read this shit. But that's our problem.
Yeah.
Thinking is one of the hardest things to do as humans. That's why we don't engage in it. And we don't want to think. So we just want to just do what we want to do. We don't thinking it takes fucking, you get frustrated, you get impatient. You're like, damn, I don't get it. Like, motherfucker, you got to study to get it. So I used to lock myself in the room until I passed that test, aced it, got my Class A. I started getting money and making good money. I was making about $2,000 a week. Back then, it was good money.
Oh, yeah. Back then,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. So, but I was out there hustling, and then, I met my wife through her sister. And it pretty much it's what kept me out of trouble, because when you're a truck driver, they're doing random drug tests. So I couldn't fuck around no more, which I didn't even want to no more, but I'll still drink, I'll still drink. So like after a while, me, I just working, hustling, and trying to get my paper right, and me and my lady, like, starting a family together, it kind of grounded me more. Now I kind of,
that's what you needed.
yeah, it's what I needed. I needed, like, something that was going to keep me grounded, that was going to keep me, with, a higher purpose in life, and especially when my boy was born, that even like when, like it's just fuck, it was an eye opener to me, because I'm like, man, I got a son now, and I'm going to do exactly what, the opposite of what was done to me.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That was already in my head. We're like, okay, my dad left me. I don't know him, but I'm not going to leave this kid. So that's kind of what helped my marriage too, because, I'm not going to tell you that it's all rainbows. We
oh
had
God,
ups and
no.
downs,
That's like, it's whoever says that, they are completely
liars. Yeah.
full of poop.
Yeah,
completely. I've been with my husband for almost 10 years. This is my longest relationship. But we started our relationship when I was already in my 30s, so it's completely different, from all the other relationships that I've been in. And it's because we accept each other for how we are, and we communicate.
That's key.
Yeah, we communicate. If we don't like something, hey, I don't like the way you said this. I don't like your tone. Or, hey, you shouldn't have said this like this.
Yeah.
And that's our argument. We always have to go up and down in relationships. Like when you said, like you said, it's not perfect. But what relationship is perfect?
Exactly. That's a relationship. Two people that ain't perfect, that are willing to work things out. That's what makes love. That's how you grow loving each other even stronger. Because that you guys are gonna, reason with each other. Somebody has to choose peace over being right at that moment, because we all want to be right at the beginning. That's the problem with a lot of relationships. They're like, I'm right. No, I'm right. Nobody wants to choose peace over being right.
And for me, I don't even care if I'm right or wrong. I just want to say what I want.
Yeah.
Let me just say what I say. Yeah, se me quita.
Yeah. Well, you have to let it out. You gotta let it out your chest. So you can see and that's conflict avoider is conflict multiply. And most people, they just bottle that shit up until they keep going.
Oh yeah, no, not me. I'm letting it out. I don't care. Even if it's like the vecino, I'm at the store, whatever it is I'm going through. For the moment, it could be anything. Hey, how's your day going? Actually, miss, I don't think you really want to know. And I'll just let it all out. I don't hold anything in, because I don't like to feel like
that brings more inner peace.
Yeah, I don't like that.
When you release.
Yeah.
So you don't hold it to you don't hold grudges.
You know what? I don't. I really wish I was a grudge holder.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, I don't mean it like that. Obviously, I'm older. I just mean like, I don't hold grudges. I don't. Like, hey, you made me feel some way. I say it. It is what it is. We're humans. Hey, yeah, I don't want.
Let's move past it.
Let's move past it. I don't need to be in your life anymore, though. But I don't want anything to do with you.
But that's good.
Yeah.
Because people, that's the trouble because they don't want to make that person feel bad. They don't want to make that person feel a type of way. So we just hold on to, what we really want to tell this mother. Like, and then that hurts you.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that shit. I don't give a
You have to, yeah. And you shouldn't care how that person feels. This is how I feel. This is how you made me feel. Boom. Bam. Let it go. Like that. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
Just accept the fact that I'm saying it. You made me feel this way. Yeah. Yeah.
But people got to learn that. They got to learn not to be, here we go again, not making somebody feel a type of way because of how they're going to take it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, they're like, oh man, I don't want to tell that person and make her feel a type of way, or make her feel like, like if I'm talking shit, like, nah, like the whole key here is that you're an adult. Obviously something that you're holding on to, you got to let that person know. Like, love ain't lies. Like, you got to tell that person, look, this is how you make me feel, or this is what I don't like, man. You know what? Because you got to extinguish it quick, or else that shit's just going to bottle up.
Oh, for sure.
Then sometimes the resentment and that and that anger will build up, and then sometimes when they bring that name up, so it's on you still.
Even if they still bring it out, I don't even care for that fool. But it doesn't mean that I have like, oh my God, I don't feel like I hate anybody. But do I dislike? Yes. But so back to you. We sidetrack. It's good. It's good to sidetrack. Back to you. Therapy. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're having therapy session, guys. For each other.
People need to do more of this, like really get to know where they're struggling at mentally, like I said, guilt and shame that they're holding on to. Shame is, one of the emotions that a lot of people, are holding on to. And that's why they don't forgive themselves. They keep punishing themselves to have a better life. They think that they did so bad, like people that done so bad in the past, that they think that they're not entitled to a good life no more.
That's right.
So they're the ones holding themselves back.
Exactly.
They're like,
That's
I don't
right.
deserve that.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that you're going to go through some ups and downs. Adversity is going to hit. That's a test that you're going to have to face. And it's almost like, it's a test of faith that you got to walk it daily because of all that shit that you've done. It's not going to be easy. Like all of a sudden I want a better life, but that God don't judge.
How did you start to work on yourself? Obviously, you started being a truck driver, and you had your son, and you started creating your family. But you're still you at this point. I mean, we're always us. We're always us. Nosotros no cambiamos. We don't change. We just change the way we think. When it comes to certain things.
So when I started that, it was a 2019. Because here we go again. Me driving. A lot of hours. Live hits, you start getting overwhelmed, bills, you start
life is lifing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Hey, but the reality is that a lot of times you don't know like if there's something else out there for you, so you start questioning yourself. You start you gave so much, you did so much. And sometimes it comes bite you in the ass where like, is this really it? Is this like
all I'm
my
doing?
life? Like, I want more, now it's like, okay, man, I've been here 19 years. I'm not going to knock truck driving. It gave me a house. I bought my first house and I bought a second house. It did good for me, but it wasn't something that I love to do. So eventually it's going to come knocking, we're like, hey, you know what? Like I was tired of it already. I didn't,
Time for a change.
Yeah, it's time for a change. A lot of times, a lot of us, we don't realize that shit. And we just keep waking up every morning, hating work, waking up with the attitude because we got to go make that money. Obviously, most men, that's what we got to do. We got to handle business. We're providers. We're go-getters. We got to bring, back food and for our families so they could live better, so they could have more than what we did. But not necessarily means that you're happy with what you're doing.
Exactly, I agree.
So we put up a mask, and I was putting up a mask for a while already. Of like me just, fuck, man, going to work and handling business because I had to, and that was my job as a man. But it was like consuming me already.
Yeah,
mentally,
not necessarily
physically.
like a mask, but it's like you just had to do what you had to do because that's what was providing.
Well, because everybody didn't see it. Everybody's like, what? Like, because in one of the interviews that I had, I said I was broken mentally, physically, spiritually. In 2019, that's what made me like snap and change. We're like, fuck, I gotta do something. And my wife said, like, what do you mean by that? Like, I heard that, and I'm like, you were not broken mentally, physically. I'm like, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that I was like my head down and just like a loser kicking a can and just giving up on life. No, inside.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, not that I was showing it. Everybody was like, well, man, I see you.
He has his house, he has his truck. Yeah, that is just material. You within yourself.
Yes, and that's what people don't get, and a lot of people are living like that, and that's what's holding them back. That's where there's a lot of mental issues, mental health awareness that they put out there. It's all like mental of like in your own head, all these emotions and feelings that we have, that surface back up from the past or from like how life treated you, and now it's coming back to haunt you. Yeah, so you didn't let go, you didn't forgive yourself. It's all about forgiveness, accepting it, and moving forward. But a lot of times it's that we don't. Whether you did wrong, whether the people wrong you, like that shit's still like hunting you. It's still there in you, like whether you did
whether you accept it or not.
Yeah, so you got to work on yourself daily, and I knew that personal development. When I started tapping into that, it's what helped me. Give my own self therapy through working on me. I gave all I had, to that job where I was, always on time. I was always give it my all. Like, I was outstanding. People knew like, damn, that's a badass worker. But that's all I was.
Just a worker.
Yeah, because that's always been like that. I always, I'm presentable. I'm going to be there on time. I'm not late. My wife used to say, call in sick. I'm never that type of calling in sick. I used to get paid for not calling in sick. because I always I'm a committed person. When I get into something, I commit. Whether it's
good or bad.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, whether good or bad. So, but that helped me. And like I said, eventually, it broke me. At 38 years old, I was 38 years old. I was holding strong, tough all those years. Just riding it out. But eventually, it hit me, and that's when I started digging into
And you did it yourself?
Well, I got a coach too. That helped me. That opened the doors for me. And a good coach doesn't tell you where to see. He shows you, where to look. And it was in here.
Yeah.
That's what helped me. And I needed to connect with somebody that could understand me.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to all these, motivational speakers and all these people that were talking about mindset and personal development. But Tony Robbins, all these guys that are out there, I didn't connect with them because they
never
even
lived
know.
your life.
Exactly. So it was like, they sound good, but it didn't stick.
Because you didn't feel it that it was the right thing. It's like, you go to a therapy, counselor, and they never one day used drugs of their life or, never been in the shoes. Like, that was my problem, one of my problems. Like, I don't want to go have this therapy session with this man. He's just talking to me through a damn book.
Well, absolutely. There's no connection there. And
They're
that's
just
what I
doing
tell
it
people.
just...
Yeah, I got a lot of people were like, damn, gee, like I healed.
Excuse me.
And I was going through, these classes where when I was listening to this, shrink, and they call him shrink. And fuck, man, he didn't help me. You helped me. You changed the way I was thinking.
Because we speak like them.
Yeah.
We move like them. We're all like, you have to listen to somebody that's already, you don't have to, obviously, that's just, but someone that's experienced your lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, your tribe connects, what they say, your vibe attracts your tribe, your lifestyle, your background, your culture, all that people could relate with. It's easier for them to connect and to open up to you because you're going to understand them more. And that's where I get a lot of people, a lot of youngsters especially, a lot of people my age, people that see me as an older homie, uncle, dad, So it's been amazing. It's been mind-blowing. But like I said, I had to work on myself, create the best me in order for them to see, like, look at, we could change, we could have a better life. You could do what you want to do in life. You could go after what's your passion. What is it that you want to do in this life that you don't ask yourself, that we never allow ourselves that time to ask ourselves this question. What is it that I want? Who is it that I want to become? What is it that I want to have? What do I have to do to get it? Nobody asks us, and you don't even ask yourself that. Like, it's always like what other people want, but never what you want. What is it that you want? Who is it that you want to become? I see the best you. I see that best him. I know they're broken right now, but I see that. I know that, but I see their 10.0 self already because I was there, and I could already know, like, look at, this is what you could be here. You could be this person here, the top, the best of what you're doing, whether you're a detailing,
whatever the case,
whatever you do, whatever skill set you have, you could be the best at it and stand out like a sore thumb, and be, that person that it's that's healed inside.
So if you guys are obviously, you guys are watching, ask yourself these questions. What were the questions you said?
Yeah.
Where do you want to be?
Yeah, this is very important because you guys gotta allow yourself some time to really think, what is it that not just that what you want, who is it that you guys want to become? What is it that I want? What do I have to do to get it? Because that's when the habits, kick in. Okay, your thoughts and action have to be aligned with the goals that you want. Your thoughts and action. Everybody's negative about. We always think about what we don't want, shit that we don't want, instead of thinking about what we want. Your mind's so powerful. Your mind's like, whatever you feed your mind, that's what you're gonna. That's what you're gonna produce. And obviously, that's what you're gonna grow.
And obviously, like I feel like one of the number one things is that people are afraid of change. They're afraid of like, hey, if I just, this is just an example, you know, relationships, they're with each other and super toxic. And what if I can't survive without him? Hey, you need to let go. If you don't let go, you'll never know. You got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, and
if you don't
faith.
believe in yourself, faith, number one.
Yeah.
You got to believe in God. I'm super religious. You got to believe in God, because if you don't believe in God, then how are you going to, you know, you can't have faith in yourself. Number one, have faith in God, have faith in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody believe in you?
Yeah. Well, value yourself. Have some dignity also. Self-love, self-care, self-investment. If that person's feeling that type of way, it's because they don't love themselves that much. If they still want to keep, because I talk to a lot of people that are in relationships, probably because they see me, you know, and my wife, how we've been in such a long relationship, but we got to value, you know, ourselves. Like nobody's going to love you like you should love yourself. And you have to have, you know, set your standards. Also give yourself some, you know, dignity and self-respect of like, if you're being, you know, mistreated, if they're abusing you, like you got to draw a line.
Yeah.
But the scarcity that they have is just from like the past trauma and all that shit that they got to let go. And understand that, you know what, once you, and this is what I tell other girls that they hit me up, where like right away when you're done with the relationship, stop fucking chasing another relationship.
My goodness, yeah.
You haven't even fixed yourself yet, and then you're gonna go. People read that. These guys are fucking. They could read that weakness. They're gonna use you, throw you away, and then there you go.
And vice versa. You know?
Vice versa. Because I did a video like that, and they're like, "Well, man, do that too." Yeah, vice versa. Exactly. This fucking guy. That's why there's a lot of walking failures out there, because they're like just having, you know, 5 baby mamas can't even fucking support their kid, you know, the kids that they're making out there, because they go from they're broken, so they haven't even healed themselves.
And all
so
these babies are going to grow up to be broken as well.
Well, it's a domino effect, and there is no rite of passage. That's why we have to break that cycle. That's why I always push this line so hard of like breaking that cycle. You know, setting the path for your kids. You know, giving them a rite of passage, being better leaders. There's a difference from, you know, commanding and demanding. You know, I'm a commanding leader, which I'm gonna lead by example. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna
don't
do
fucking
the work
command
with
me,
you.
fool.
You know, and there's the demanding, the people that are demanding.
Yeah,
those are the ones that like, oh yeah, do this, do that. They're manipulators.
Yeah, you better do that
they're
shit
liars.
yourself.
You know, they're cowards. You know, and they always have a hidden agenda. There's the manipulator, and then the leader that inspires people. There's 2 types of leaders: the manipulator, and then there's the one that's going to inspire you to be better. Because guess what? I'm gonna be doing the work with you. All my people, I'm gonna give you guys, you know, half of what I do. I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna show up every day, no matter how I feel, because I know that you guys got work to do. And I'm not going to let you guys down.
So you do like classes or?
Yeah, I have some calls Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I got about 280 members right now.
Good for you. Good for you. So now you're doing something that you enjoy and you're getting paid for it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. How this turned into my passion. You know, something that, you know, that I wanted to do back in the days, where like something with fitness, but not realizing that personal development has a lot to do with, you know, fitness. You know, health and fitness is the pillar to become successful in life. Like there's always like that person that's into fitness, and that looks amazing, but he's still broken.
Well, because you're just trying to that's your mask.
There you go. See how you're understanding this. And a lot of people, they're like, hey, what's wrong with this guy? He's like, damn, he's well put together. But when I work with them, he has a lot of guilt and shame still that he's dealing with. You know, and that right there is how he escaped.
It's because I work on myself, just so you know.
No, but you know what?
Can you see the mask in me or no?
No. But look see, that's where people don't bridge the gap, because they're like, well, I thought fitness is what's going to help you think better and feel more confident. I go, yeah, but that's like, instead of like, okay, obviously going to the bar or lighting up a joint and drifting away from your problems or masking your problems, go to the gym, you know? And I had some guy, because I get all these fucking 5150s, you know, because they're hurt, but I understand them. I don't see all the, you know, all the hate that sometimes they have. I just see the pain that they have. So they're like, well, I already did 2 workouts, and I still want to that fool up, man. This shit ain't helping me. I'm like, pump brakes, man. I go, the problem is that It's not the workout that's going to fix you, idiot. It's the mindset created through the workout. So now when you gain that clarity, that's where everybody gets caught up because, okay, 2 hours later, once that pump fades away, you still got to revisit that problem. The problem's waiting for you.
That's right.
And that's where the working on yourself comes into
like
place.
really working on yourself, not your physique.
Exactly.
Because you know what?
This is internal.
Exactly.
Mindset.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not down talking or I'm not saying anything, but a lot of people, men that I've, not men, even women, like that, they're walking around and they're buff and it's like, hey, you could feel your negativity. You think you're so better, because I work out. And that's something that's kind of like that
Turn off?
I don't care about turn off.
Yeah.
It's really
Bugs you?
bothersome.
Yeah. Well, because
don't try to carry yourself a certain way, but you're so hateful and ugly in your heart, and you have so much testosterone. Like, hey, it's okay to be yourself.
Well, they're masking the pain, you know. So see, what they're trying to get there is it's approval. They're seeking validation. Somebody that looks at them,
like be happy.
a certain way,
Be
like
happy.
they're so those are the ones that are even more broken.
Oh, yes.
Because that didn't fix them. But see, it's almost like that person that's like, look at my car, like that. Okay, but you're still fucked up. You're just trying to like mask your pain because you got money, you were able to buy this shit, so you're still hiding. So you feel that energy, you feel their aura.
Yeah.
When you're around people that are like, been through that shit and have that energy, like you feel them, like, bro, like, come on, man,
it's okay to be yourself. Yeah, it's okay to be yourself.
Pump your brakes,
Exactly. And it goes even women, like the beautiful girls that, the Instagram models, and it's like, you're not happy, mama. You have this boyfriend that's abusive, and don't do that. Work on yourself. Like, work on yourself. And the first step is accepting that you're not in a good situation.
You just said it. That's the key word for everybody that's out there. Acceptance. That right there is key. No, the longer you keep hiding from that shit and playing the part, and because that's where also the females start doing all this shit that masking the pain, thinking that this is going to fix this problem, but that's going to wear off. It's like any material thing that you get. Once you have it, okay, the high went away. You don't want it anymore. Yeah, you don't even wash your damn car no more. Like, what happened to that? Was your, but that's how it is. So because you're not fixed internally, you don't have that inner peace and contentment needed.
My car stays dirty. I don't even give a shit.
You're like, fuck this, But see, it's like you know what I'm saying, like. It's all internal. If you don't heal within, you're still gonna be a broken soul out
You
there.
have children?
Yeah, I have my oldest. He's 24. I got my other son Isaiah. I got Moses, which he's 24. He helps me, in my business.
Oh,
like
good.
my right hand. And then my youngest Isaiah, he's 22. He's going to Oregon State.
I have a 22-year-old as well.
Yeah, and then my baby girl that she's 15.
Oh, okay. Nice.
3 kids.
Nice. You already raised your babies? Still raising them?
Yeah. Well, my boys are like, I'm like, hey, you guys do for yourself. But when mom's around, then they, mom's always like, there for them. But when they stay with me, it's like, you guys got to feed yourselves and do all this. My baby girl's the only one that I really pretty much like, I still got to buy her stuff and do for her.
Yeah, she's still a minor.
Yeah, them, they get their own money, so they buy their own shit. And sometimes they treat us now, so it feels good when they, when they
I love that. I love that. But that's good. You've come a long way. Obviously, you've worked on yourself, and you're going to continue to work on yourself, and that's what matters.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And I'm sorry, I didn't even know what you want me to call you, because I was gonna
call me Negra. Everybody calls me Negra.
Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful. Like, hey, who are you? Negra. Like, we have a lot to still learn, and I'm not saying that I know it all, but it
would be very wrong of you to say that.
Yeah. And this is therapeutic for me. I'm learning from you. We're all learning. Even when I have my classes with my people that are like, I'm trying to help, I'm like, I learn from you guys. I just have this platform that, obviously I put it together, but you guys help me too.
That's right.
Because I go through some shit too.
We're human. Yeah. We would not be normal if we didn't go through anything.
Yeah, and I tell them, like, look I still gotta, deal with, my kids. They're growing. They have different, emotions, feelings. They have different thoughts, They
don't give a shit what we went through.
Yeah, they're like, I don't give a what the your stories. Like, this is me now. Like, you know, so you got to work with them too. You know, you got to, you know, try to like, you know, give them that guidance, give them that rite of passage, give them some good advice. And obviously now, like, you know, you know, live it, you know, like, don't just tell them, because I know that won't work.
Don't tell me, just do it.
Yeah, so
kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah, so yeah, we got to lead by example. And you know, that's what I had to do, you know, for them to not, you know, say like, well, it all started in my house, you know. I picked up at, you know, in my home, you know, so I had to eliminate all vices, you know, so I've been sober even from drinking 5 years. You know?
Good for you.
So yeah, I stopped all that. I just said, you know what, enough is enough. Let me just change this, because if I want to help somebody, I gotta make sure that I have, like, you know, no areas where people could get me. Oh yeah, but well, I have problems with smoking, but you still have problems with drinking. So is this how I cope with the pain, and that's how you cope with your stress. So don't tell me shit. I don't want to get that thrown to my face, so I'm not extinguished.
Okay. So that's why you stopped, not because it was a problem for you, but because it was because you had to show an example.
Yes, absolutely, Neda, absolutely. Because I'm not gonna tell you, even my wife will, because I'm like, I never had beer, but I drank it because it was almost like, let's crack one open. Like, it's almost like just to, because it was there, but not where like, oh, this is how I cope with my pain. You know, this is how I deal with my pain. Like my pain, like I've been dealing with pain since I was young. So it's like, I'm not going to go drink my sorrows away, because I know that's not going to help me. Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So you guys, if you guys think that you guys drinking and using drugs is going to make your problems go away, you really are wrong, because when you wake up from whatever trance you are in, those problems are going to be there, and a lot more, because we've created so much more problems while you know, us trying to cover up that pain, that we build so much more problems. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why people can't get sober and can't recover, because they're afraid.
Well, they keep looking at. They're looking at.
Like, they think the fucking problems are not going to fucking be there. Like, no, those shit's are going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Accept that shit.
Yeah.
Accept that shit.
Yep. Own it.
Accept that shit.
Deal with it. You know, it's just like you keep running away from it. It's going to be there. And it's going to, like you said, you're making it worse. You keep making it where you're digging yourself deeper in a hole where it's just going to blow in your face. And that's when people start having these crazy thoughts and scenarios that they want to clock out. They want to, you know, check out.
Don't be a weak ass fool.
I know, it's like, it's almost like,
don't be a weak ass fool. Accept that.
It's a cowardly act when I do hear that, and I had said that in one of my posts, and I got fucking, you know, hate with that, because, you know,
but
one of my family members did that. No, social media, I don't care, but it was one of them, like a family member that took it to the heart. But I said what I said.
But because he's probably feeling those emotions, like, oh, I hate him.
Yeah, because it is. Because now it's not, you're almost selfish. Like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of this and opt out, and that's the easy way out for your ass. But what about the fucking people that you left behind? Your kids, your wife. Like, you don't think about them, you selfish, because you didn't want to help yourself. There was help out there. You just wanted to check out and tap out, because that's the easiest thing to do, the path of less resistance. You gotta work through that shit.
That's right.
You gotta wake the fuck up and realize that, you know what, you got people that depend on you, especially if you got little kids.
And you know, and for you, it's like you woke up young, 19 years old. You didn't, I mean, obviously you went through what you went through, but I'm saying, like, you didn't end up in prison.
Yeah, I think my mentors that I call mentors, or my older homie that laced me up and put me on game. Like I said, not everybody has that luxury to have that one of the guys that is going to look out for you like that. We're like, nah, bro, like, because I'm telling you, that's where I seen, like, okay, what the fuck is this? Why are we all fighting in the street? But then at this pad, we get different, hoods over here. Like, what's up over here? Oh, we're cut above all that bullshit. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, this is stupid. It's almost like that's an entertainment for them. But like, here, keep yourself busy. Money talks here, big dog. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's how money talks everywhere, right?
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter where we're at.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter like, what path we're on.
But at that age, I was kind of like, what?
Because you didn't obviously know, you weren't an adult to understand that once you hit a certain age, certain things don't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why it kind of like, it was like a reality check for me.
How does your wife work out with you?
I was trying to get her back in. She was doing good, but her mom passed away last week. So right now we're going through some hard
my
times.
condolences.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And all I could do is just, even though that I've been working on myself for a long time and I have helped a lot of people and a lot of my, team members have dealt with, lost their loved ones, and I'm able to get through them and they could hear me, but they come to me. All I could do for my wife is be there because she ain't trying to hear a lot.
Well, because words don't matter.
Exactly. So I put it on my message. A couple of my posts that I done that I dedicated to her, dedicated to her mom, that I just came from
Your
me
heart.
and put it out there. Yeah. And it hit because a lot of people felt that, where like people right now, they're questioning themselves. They even question God. They even curse God. Like, why this? And
Well, they're free
all
now.
all these
from
negative
pain.
emotions.
We just have to deal with the grievance of them not being here, and it's probably what hurts the most.
It does, because like you said exactly. If you were to think like that, they're not in pain no more. They're good, But then it's like the people that are affected are the ones that they still not understanding how all this works. That
I think we understand. It just hurts because we're not going to see them, because we all know that we're going to die.
But there we go again. Like, why can't you accept that what, their time was here? Let's learn from from what we went through right now. Let's learn from this. Like, what is it that we were not doing that we could honor her for that?
Do you have these talks at home?
With my group, yeah. But
No, I don't mean at group. I mean your immediate family, like your boys. Like, do you speak to inside your house the way you speak to your team?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But only to a certain extent, because sometimes
They don't give
Here you go. My wife will be like, because she'll call me out. She's like, what happened to patient, Mr. Patient? When I'm in my calls and I'm like, hey, man, you guys got to be understanding. You guys got to choose peace over being right. And as soon as I pull that card out when I'm having a little argument with my wife, like, you're not patient,
I mean, it's true.
Because
you're at work.
Yeah.
So you're just working.
Yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, but look it.
There's no buts. You're just trying to justify your and voice it to make the situation
Yeah, but
be
they
on
don't
your
press
side.
my buttons. You're testing my patient.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
She's just being your wife, and she don't know what you're saying.
I get it, but that's
she
my
ain't part of
answer.
your team, fool. She is your team.
She's. Hey, a female will make you or break you. I'll tell you that. And she had made me that person that I am right now. Stronger mentally, physically, because she was always supportive.
And that's how I feel about my husband.
Perfect.
My husband
That's
has
good. That's the
helped
one
me be the best version of Cristina ever.
That right there is like something that's rare to find nowadays. Because if you do not have your significant other in the same page or in the same path, or supporting you through and through on what you're doing, there's going to be a lot of conflict. And this is something that I go through even with my people that are at a different stage of growth and their partner ain't. Oh man, there's a lot of like insecurity. There's a lot of like, oh man, like just making you feel that you're almost guilty because you're bettering yourself. You see what I'm saying? But they're projecting their insecurities on you because they're not there yet. They're still, you are rare. You are weird to them because you're not, doing what you used to do no more. Now you're eating cleaner. Now you're working out. Now you're reading more. Now you want more clarity. Now you want better in life. And if they're not there yet, they're still like, on operating on society, what they have you doing, entertainment, pleasure chasing, and even if they're in vices, there's going to be a lot of conflict.
My husband's never about the pleasure. Like, he's never about like others. He's never, I mean, always about others, but you get what I'm saying? Like, he's very, his work ethic is there. You want more, let's do more,
Yeah,
don't
pushing you.
Don't settle. Like, look how, like.
Well, that's what you need. That's a ride or die.
He
call
doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do anything. He used to smoke cigarettes, COVID hit, he stopped completely.
Good.
It's just, he's very well, like, driven to, like, be successful in life, and I'd never had that. Yeah, go to work, do this, fight. But it's never like, hey, what are you going to do? Are you going to waste your day doing nothing, or are we going to do something?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Because, he's when you're not feeling it, he's there to pick you up and lift you up.
And vice versa. Like, hey, babe, for me, it's like, hey, okay, stop working already. give yourself a break. Let go of the phone for a second.
Oh, that's what my wife's telling me. That's where I have time
But-
where I'm like this.
But keep in mind, when you're self-employed, he's been self-employed for 15 years. He's never worked for, he used to work for a loan officer.
Entrepreneurs is a whole different ballgame. And that's what people got to understand,
and so
too.
imagine, I'm like, okay, get off the computer, relax, try to let go of your brain for a second.
Yeah, decompress a little bit.
And that's the hardest thing.
It is.
And that's when I come and it's like, okay, baby, that's it, Yeah. You want me to rub your head, whatever, or whatever it might be.
But that's good.
Just sit down, bro. Stop.
All we need is that. If we could just hear that from you, I get it from my wife. I could just hear that, or hey, you're okay. Sometimes that's what we need, because entrepreneur it is, it takes a different type of mindset to have, and that's a lot of people don't understand. That's why a lot of people, they end up fucking going back and playing the safe zone. And knowing that, hey, you know what, this right here is temporary. You have to be, willing to push through. It's going to be those ups and downs. You're not guaranteed
You guys
shit.
better be listening.
Yeah, you ain't guaranteed shit. Yeah, it's different from, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is like almost you're operating on faith all times. At all times. There is no fucking second, I got to, my wife works, or I got another job. Like sometimes, this is almost you putting all your faith in yourself and
God
and the top G up there, and just knowing that you're gonna be okay, knowing that when you took that leap, that net's always gonna be there to catch your ass.
Yeah.
Because it's scary. Sometimes it's like, oh man, shit's not cracking right now, and all of a sudden, how everything works in a mysterious way. All of a sudden, when you're just chilling and kicking it, I'll probably leave out of here. I'll probably have a couple of signups that just went in that because we're in flow state right now.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, when we're tapped in, we're in flow state right now. It's I don't even see as time like nothing to me. It don't mean nothing to me, because this is what I love to do. Our conversations that we're having, this is therapeutic for me, for you, because this is what I do with my team. This is what I do all day long.
I know, I like it. Honestly, I get so many messages, and on both my pages, hey, what do you think about this? I was like, and I'll respond it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good when I'm not making any money of it, but it's not about that. It's about my heart and him seeing that I am willing to do what I need to do to help somebody
Your
else.
intentions.
To help somebody else, and that helps me.
Yeah, but that's the universal law. It's the universal principle. What you give, you will get back.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, you will get it back. There's no way around it. That's
right.
Whether you believe in God, anything, the Creator, what you believe in, what you put out there,
That's
what
right.
your intentions are pure. And when you give, you get.
That's
People,
right.
that's the problem. They want, but they don't want to give. I'm like, bro, you don't even want to sacrifice. You don't want to give your time. You don't even want to give your money because, but you want.
Yeah.
You want to resolve.
Some people, it's crazy. They just feel like you owe them.
Oh, but that's the problem. It's almost like going to the bank.
If I don't even know you. We didn't even grow up together. I don't know you shit.
Why is it that, and I did a post that went viral too, why is it that when, you take that leap and you go through all that struggles and all the tribulations and the ups and downs and of making this happen, what you have this right now.
Because you made it happen.
Yeah, right. And you took that risk. All of a sudden, somebody comes and has the audacity to tell you, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? No, this is, I work for this. I provide a service. This is how I pay my family. This is how, I support my family. And it's always your friends or your family, too, to top it off. It's always them. Hey, what's up with the hookup? No, you should give more.
Yeah.
You should give more, offer more.
What hookup, fool? You never even shared my post.
Crazy.
No, it is.
People, they think they're entitled. People that are just, they're always, they get nowhere with that mentality.
Yeah.
They burn their bridges. They won't get nowhere in life because they don't want to give. They just want to take.
Yeah.
They're takers. We're givers.
Yeah.
That's the difference. These guys are takers.
Yeah.
We're givers.
Yeah, but we're in the place. Well, at least me. I'm only in a place to give you whatever, if I want.
Yeah.
If I want.
Well,
I don't need to give you shit,
look at what we're giving right now. It's my time.
We're giving each other our time.
Time, yeah. For the audience, time is one of the most valuable resources that we have.
Because time is.
We're not going to get this back, but we love to do this.
Yeah.
We love to.
Yeah.
This conversation is going to hit a lot of people. This conversation, might touch that person, that gem that we drop. That little piece.
Even if it touches just one person. We did our job.
Yeah, absolutely. But
We did our job.
I know it will. It's going to hit hard because, like I said, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. You know, a lot of people that are out there broken by choice, you know, with disbelief, where they think that they can have a better life, that this is the only, you know, life that you have, that you currently have right now, that you hate, that you don't love, that you wake up every morning just wanting to clock out, tap out, and give up on yourself. Nope. This
Better
is
get
time
up.
to change that shit.
That's
Break
right.
that broken mindset. You know, start instilling that belief, and it's gonna start by, like Negra said, you know, accept it, own that shit, and change that shit.
And it doesn't matter if you have tattoos or not.
No, it
doesn't
doesn't.
matter your background. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you are willing to make a little bit of change on yourself.
That's why our stories are so impactful, because it's more relatable with the masses, with the people that were so broken, they're so in disbelief because of our, you know, how
And
we
that's
grew
why
up.
I love doing my channel. Like, this channel is not about glorifying. It's about you were able to overcome a certain obstacle in your life.
Yeah,
And now you surpassed that. And you're able to sit here and tell your story. Whether
Yeah.
you want to be a rapper, whether you're a coach, whether you're a plumber, whether you're whatever it might be. You know, some people have sat in that chair and still are not working on themselves. But them coming here and sitting there and actually opening up is a little bit of helping themselves.
But hopefully this hits those people, because those people have such a story. They have so much bottled up inside that if they know how to utilize that,
Oh, they're
and
fucking
transfer-
powerful.
Exactly. But that's what we need, because there's a lot of people that we still see here, and I know you could pick up on that, because I could tell you could read people good. That there's a lot of people that need help, that sat in this chair still.
Oh,
that
yes.
are still lost.
Oh, yes.
That are still broken.
Yep.
That are still dealing with their demons in here, and they don't want to let go. This is besides of like just that story that they keep telling themselves. You know, it's time to get that pen and start rewriting your story.
Yeah.
And I hope this
you know
is
what?
we
And it's
came
funny
big
you
here.
say it, because the person that comes to my head, obviously, it's always Lefty, because he has so much potential.
Oh yeah,
So much.
That
And-
youngster, you know,
You know, and he messaged me this morning. He says, "I love you, Tia Negra. Thank you," because he could be so much better if he just stops using drugs. Are we a mess? We're always a mess. I'm a mess.
But look at, that's what I'm saying. The habits got to be in the line.
Exactly.
The habits, it's your habits, because that's what threw me, you know, and that's what kept me like always like going back, because my habits weren't in a line. So sometimes, you know, people got to realize that it's your habits that are always pulling you back to the old you. You got
You gotta start making new habits.
Exactly. And that's hard to do, because, you know, to break those old habits, it's easier for you to go back to the old habits when shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fan, everybody goes back to their old habits, because it's easy. It's ingrained in you. It's the path of less resistance.
Yeah.
New habits is going to take work. New habits is going to take I know that youngster, you know, he hit me up when he first got out. I have him on here. He's like, he came all respectfully, you know, and I send mine, so I know who you are, this and that. And I go, that's cool, man. Run it up, man. Do your thing, man. They're so talented. But see, that's the problem, you know. Talented are only going to get you so far if you do not drop your fucking habits.
Drop the habits, guys.
You know?
Drop the habits.
Straight up, man. There's a lot of people with potential, very high potential, that I've seen here come, and that could be like just these monsters out there, like pushing that message, bettering themselves, making money, monetizing that money, you know, with what they know, the knowledge, the wisdom that they have, that they could use it to help people. You know how many people are out there that are actually going to fucking be able to help people because they've been through it, they experienced it, so they're the ones that could help that kid. That those counselors that you're talking about, or the ones that went to school and got a fucking degree or diploma, they can connect with people.
Yeah.
How many people try to go to these jails and talk to these men, and you're like, fucking God, nothing.
Take
You're
me back
like,
to my room.
yeah, I ain't got time for this guy. I remember
Yeah.
MC Boulevard or one of them guys, or Elijah Brown. I think he had went over there and tried to talk. Elijah, well, I don't know who, but
What is
nobody
rapper?
was hearing nobody like what they were trying to. They like,
That's what said. MC Boulevard.
Yeah.
I remember you, homie.
yeah, one of them guys. I remember they brought him over there, and we're like, yeah, like right now we're trying to fucking pay attention to that. I know
That's
what these
hilarious.
youngsters are inspired to be. I know what they want. I know I could it's like, man, we don't have to push dope. We pushing hope now. You know, we don't have to push dope to get a Cadillac, to get a Beamer, to get a Mercedes.
Thank God.
Yeah, I could show you how to do it. I tell these youngsters, I could show you how to get one the right way. Let's work on you. Let's brand you. We're branding. You're branding other people. You're helping other businesses right now. You're helping the boss that you work for. You're helping his dream come
Yeah,
into
not
fruition.
yours. That's right.
Let's
And that's
work
something my
on you.
husband always says. You know, like, obviously, if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, certain things, you need to go to school. You need to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But thank God we live in an era where we don't need to. There's there's a lot of other things that you could do to help yourself make, like you said, make your own brand.
Yes. There's so...
And you just can't give up.
No.
You know, I have a teeth whitening business. I've been doing it for 5 years, right? There's days I don't have clients still. It's still 5 years, right? But the key is do not give up.
Consistency, not giving
There
up,
you
because
go.
that's the easiest thing to do. And that's when people excel. The person that's not willing to give up is the person that...
Or
I
even-
haven't missed a post
Yeah.
for 5 years, not one post. A lot of people that try to do what I do, they fall off because of their feelings.
Well,
their
exactly
emotion,
what I
you know,
was going to say.
yeah.
So many people want to be YouTubers and podcasters. You could all try. The thing is, do not give up because you're not getting monetized or you're not doing this. Like,
Yes.
you have to drop a post every time, whenever the heck I drop
Yes.
I drop an episode every Sunday, no matter what, 11 o'clock.
You should say it, no matter what.
No matter what.
I don't-
If it's going to get 2 views, 3 views, 100
gotta
views,
drop
100K views, it doesn't matter.
That's
The point
key.
is that you're still doing it.
Yep, don't stop. That's the key. On whatever's pulling at you, whatever's calling at you, whatever you keep thinking about that you can't get it off your head, whatever it is that you want to
Go
pursue.
do that shit.
Do that. You know, and like I said, there's
We are our own selves that stops us.
Yeah, the internet has leveled the playing field. There is no more no, we could all fucking make it. We could all do it. You could tap in with people that done it. That's the key. Tap in with people that done it. How many people could, that want to be, that start a podcast? And the reason why you surviving and you're thriving because you didn't stop, you didn't quit. You have that energy, you have that aura, you have that presentation of like, this is like almost like your passion. You love to do it. Because if you didn't love to, if you're just doing it for the money, I tell people, not everybody is a coach.
No.
Like, you don't have to be a coach. Like, don't just look at me and how I went from here to making...
Yeah, it's not. If it's not your path, it's not your path.
No, because that's when you give up. That's when you tap. That's when you quit. Like, find your path, by working on yourself, your vision that you have of yourself. Go after it. Don't stop. Don't quit. And like I said, success is just doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
I know you're successful because this is what you love to do. This is what I love to do.
I didn't even know I was going to do this.
Nobody does know.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, you know what? I love doing this. But are you going to like it? Are you going to love it when you start doing it?
Yeah.
It's always like random.
Yeah. It almost comes naturally. It just, and the reason why is because when you start working on yourself, working on your personal development is personally working on yourself through and through, not just aesthetics, it's internal. And once you gain that clarity, once you start seeing the bigger picture, like I said, all that shit will come and land in your lap. And it's almost like, oh man, I was meant to do this.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
how I
meant for
feel.
me.
I love doing this.
Yep.
I enjoy it. And it's 2 hours out of my week.
Yeah, so then that's what I tell people. Then she's successful. Why? Because she loves what she's doing. I love what I eat, breathe, sleep, personal development. This is all I do. If I'm out of here, I'm going to get on a call. Next, throughout the day, I have calls with all my other team members that I'm helping out also to find their purpose, and this is what I do all day.
You like it.
And you don't get tired.
Yeah.
You will get overwhelmed eventually,
Yeah,
but I'm saying my energy's high right now. My energy's there. I've been up since 3 a.m. every day. I wake
Damn.
up at 3 a.m.
Those are more like viejito vibes.
Yeah, I know. Look at my eyes. That's why I wear my glasses. But hey, nobody has made me take off my glasses until I came to Negra's podcast. And
I'm
I was like,
sorry.
okay,
It's just
cool.
I just feel like it's more respectful.
Yeah, I know.
Especially
I know,
when
but
we're
that's
talking
just
about
like my what did I say?
your mask?
I'm trying to no. I'm trying to brand these, man. See if I get some free ones out there, man.
Oh, Tom Ford, man.
Yes. Those are Lokes. Everybody like, where'd you get your? I mean, bro, stop worrying about glasses and fix yourself first, man. This
Those
is not
are
gonna
Tom
fix you.
Fords. Those are not
Yeah.
Lokes.
No, but there's shit. When have you seen looks like this though? This is the old school. They don't have them no more. Remember the Ray-Bans?
No, I know what you're saying, but those are Tom Fords. I like Tom Fords.
No, I know, but because
The
I
style,
only got
you're
them
saying.
because of the style. Yeah, not I don't know what the hell Tom Ford is, but yeah, I just
You
seen
want
it.
Tom Ford to you want Tom Ford to freaking send you more, bro.
Oh yeah, now I do. I told my son, who the hell's Tom Ford? He's all like, oh, that's like a name brand. I'm like,
It's
well, fuck.
a high end designer.
Yeah. So when I bought the glasses, 'cause I always got Ray-Bans, and then I was like, are 700, and then I was like,
you gotta do.
and I was like, okay, Tom Ford it is.
Say, at least you're able to do the 700s. Chill.
Exactly.
You just flexed on us.
Exactly.
Dang.
But I tell a lot of people, hey, glasses ain't gonna make you, man. You gotta work on yourself, man.
That's right. Before we go, G, would you like to share something else? Or anything else you want to say before we end up?
Yeah, I mean, I just know out there that, there's more. For you guys that think that it's not possible, me and Negra's been showing you guys that it is possible. Whatever you guys want to pursue in life, she hit those key points of not stopping. That's the key. I didn't stop. That's why I'm where I'm at, because I didn't stop. I didn't quit. No matter how I felt, I go through shit as well. I'm dealing with some right now that most people that follow me on Instagram, Guerrero_fitness on IG, I put it out there. I share my stories. My struggles that, hey, you know what? Hey, we all get hit with life, but we can't stop. We cannot quit.
That's right.
Life keeps going, and we got to show others that that's the key.
That's right.
You can't quit on yourself.
That's
Too
right.
many people are quitting on themselves, and that's why you ain't going to get nowhere with that mindset. But the mindset that you got to create, that warrior mindset that I talk about, it's through working on yourself,
That's
personal
right.
development,
That's
internally.
right.
And it's just not the physical part. I always tell people it's not just the physical, how you look. It's internal, having that inner peace and contentment.
That's right. I agree. Love that.
Hmm?
Hey, let me ask you before we go. What did you think? Did you think I was going to be what did you think? Because right now we actually communicated very well.
Towards the end, huh? At the beginning was what?
Oh, it's because I think you were trying to read me, fool. So I didn't want to let you read me. Yeah. I'm pretty good at, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm not really good. I'm really good at just being myself.
Little things that you said, I'm like, okay, she's at a higher level of consciousness. I started picking up on people, how they talk, how they speak,
I had to, because you were like, I had to, because I needed you to understand that I'm not just sitting here trying to talk about prison. I needed you to understand that I know what's happening in life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to carry myself a little different so that you could be yourself.
Yeah.
Because, and then we toned it down and we became ourselves.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
See how that all transitioned towards, I picked up on that. I read that, we're like, oh, wait a minute, she is about it. She is what she's talking about. She's more of like, growth. And
it's
overcoming.
Not just glorifying prison.
Yeah.
But this works.
Yeah.
This works for me.
Well, that's the hook. Mm-hmm. We have to. What do you think that, people are like, well, you still dress like that? This is
your style. This is you.
This has always been me. I'm not going to just go wear a button-up pink shirt now because I'm Mr. Personal Development Life Coach. No, this was me. And this is how I'm able to connect with more people. Don't judge a book by its cover.
That's
this
right
here is almost like how I draw people in because, hey, this was me. And there is people that totally do a 360 where like, oh, you were that, and then they were that, but they totally
But
changed.
I kind of feel like that's like you're masking who you really are.
It is. Why can't you be yourself? I'm gonna be myself. When I go in a few places where I speak, and I was able to talk in an audience, it's like I show up and they're like, fuck, man, you have this guy on a suit, and then me just pulling up like that. It's like
raw.
This is me,
and as it should be. And I love that we kind of said that. I love that we just said that because I would love to have more women here and tell me about their past, and because I don't have that many girls. I wish I started this channel and I only really wanted to do girls. But girls are
well, they're more reserved.
I don't think they're reserved. I think there might be a little bit of shame of their past, or the people they are with don't accept who they were, and they have to be completely different. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, they still haven't healed yet. Then,
but you gotta start.
Yeah, and the healing is gonna start when you start talking about it.
There you go. There you go. So, ladies, come on, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because they're like that in my program too. Very few, they start getting better with talking or building that confidence within, because a lot of them they're broken. They feel a lot of guilt and shame. They just embarrassed. But I tell them, even when I show a transformation, I tell them like, yeah, but this is going to inspire people. That you're going to motivate others. You're going to know that, hey, you know what? Your story is going to be impactful for others. It's not about you. You be selfish and you'll be like, no, well, I'm just going to hold on to this. No, when you share it, you heal as well.
That's right. Love that.
Straight up.
Well, again, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you coming and giving me a little bit of your time.
Absolutely. It was a blessing. Like I said, this is what I love to do. And I hope this conversation's impactful and it impacts somebody that's going through some difficult times right now.
Yes.
It's not just like it's just like Negra said, like trying to glorify the past. It's like what you are doing now with your past. What is it that you're doing right now? Who is it that you're trying to become? Who is it that you're trying to be in this life? We got to leave with the dent, before we fucking exit this universe.
That's right.
Don't just live to live. No, we were here to do something with our life.
Don't just live to live. That just reminded me of this. There's this Fool's Gone Wild.
What?
There's this is dumb, right? But you say don't live to live. It's just Fool's Gone Wild. It's this white dude, and he's like things I don't know. But
is that the guy with the mask, with the little funny mask, ice hockey mask?
Yeah, but it was like it's like a meme that he posted. It was this white boy with glasses, and he's like, "Hey, I don't live to live." It was just funny. It doesn't. Yeah, you probably don't get it if you never watched the little meme or whatever. But I just thought about it, so it was funny to me.
No, I heard of that guy because they always tag me on with that guy. I don't know why they sending them when I'm talking, probably to turn it into a joke or entertainment, So that's when I say, who is this Fool's Gone Wild guy? And then,
hey, but you should probably accept this so people can see you. Like, hey, you know what?
No, I tell people, hey, you know what? What you need is less entertainment. You need it to take your life more serious. That's what I tell people. They're like, damn, man, you're cold. I'm like, yeah, you know what? So, miss me with that shit.
It's a cold world, right?
Hey, miss me with that shit, man. I'm like, hey, you got to take your life more serious.
Yeah,
man.
You're right. You're right. Well, again, thank you. You guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.